So, guess who used a code to get William up to job level 99? Yeah, that's right, it was me. In my defense, it was either that, or fight a bunch of tough enemies and get way too much normal experience, or fight a million goblins and go mad. But that was all for the purpose of this. Talking to the legendary blacksmith when you have a job at level 99 will get you that card, and either a weapon or armor. In this case, it's the Sage Staff, which I don't believe does anything too fancy, it's just a powerful staff. Not really the best reward, that's why that's the first one I got. But the legendary blacksmith will again move on. I'll go over her locations next time I do this sort of thing. I'm gonna be getting job level 99 on everyone else soon, but not just yet, because I do kinda want to do the Crystal Tower sort of legit-ish. As legit as it can get, really. But that's done. By the way, the card you get, I believe, is used for Magnet? Apparently you're supposed to be able to use it to give yourself a title, like Sage, Fefner it would be in this case, but I'll be completely honest, I didn't figure out how to do that, and if you couldn't tell, I'm kind of done with the game at this point. So we're just going to read some more mail from the 4 old men. Well, that sounds like pretty good advice, so I'm gonna take it. Okay, even if I didn't take it, I do appreciate the advice. I like those 4 old men. Always looking out for me, they are. But, unfortunately, that's enough of that. Here we are, back where we were at the end of the previous episode, and now it's time to take on the Crystal Tower. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, so first enemies of the dungeon. These guys are Blucks. They are able to use summoning. They summon a different enemy in this dungeon, the Kumkums, which are ghost guys. Those guys are able to use Faraga, Blizzaga, and Thundaga. So yeah, they are fairly powerful, considering they've got some pretty good magic, but yeah, basically you can kind of prevent them just by killing the Blucks pretty quickly, which is kind of easy for me at this point, but oh no, he summoned one! Alright, so I don't think, even though they appear ghost-like, that they're actually ghosts, so they're not undead, so they don't have a weakness to light. Or any magic at all in that case, really. The Blucks are also weaknessless, you know, like everything else ever. I'll be honest, I'd be kinda surprised to see an elemental weakness in this dungeon. I've had this rant like 2 or 3 times before now, but seriously, I don't care for it. Right, with that being said, we can now move on with the dungeon. We're not going up the center this time, because of course that path leads to Eureka. Alright, who is it now? Oh, hey, Doga's clone, how's it going? You're still just as freaky looking as your not-clone counterparts. This guy's got Breaka, Drain, and Quake. So, decent spells, but he is nowhere near as tough as the original Doga, of course. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't think he would be, because, I mean, Une's clone was easy, and, well, quite frankly, original Doga was pretty damn hard. This, on the other hand, like, he can't even attack twice. Honestly, that's part of what makes him so much easier. And you can fight him before you actually fight Doga. It's just the second floor and onwards that you can't get to without the Doga and Une fight being completed. Right, can we talk about the dungeon now? Because I actually really like this dungeon. I mean, DS graphics of course, but it's still a pretty impressive looking place. I love the crystal aesthetic, and the music? Oh man, there are a bunch of unique dungeon themes by this point. Technically, oh, for crying out loud, what is it now? Oh boy, now it's a Medusa recolor. This one's called Gomery. I don't know why. I don't even think Gomery was actually a Goron. Or Goron? Gorgon! Gorons are completely different things. But anyway, Gomery only knows the spell Drain, and of course she can attack twice per turn. That's pretty much it. I don't know why. I mean, I almost wouldn't mind a Petrify on Contact kind of thing. Almost. Maybe something else. Sleep? Would you like sleep? How about poison? That could also be annoying. Wink. Well, she's dead anyway, so I don't have to worry too much about that. Okay, Gomery's out of the way. We're leveling up. Is that everything on our list of things to do? I hope so. Alright, dungeon, good song. I would group Eureka in with the endgame dungeons that all have unique themes. Because technically speaking, it is part of this one. You just have to enter the center area, or central area, I suppose, if I want to be grammatically correct. But yeah, Eureka, this area, they both have some very good songs. I just absolutely love this one. It's so cool. Fumagarb is very good armor, by the way. Alright, so that was a full loop of this song, and it's a pretty good one. I mean, it kind of got interrupted a few times there, but you get the point. Very nice song. All this time I've been trying to avoid the word epic. I mean, it is pretty cool, and it's very fitting for a final confrontation. You know, it gets you excited for this final battle with this guy we've never met before. I mean, we don't even know what Xande looks like, we just know that he's kind of an idiot for stopping time. I mean, again, I'll sympathize with the dude, but stopping time is a really bad way of going about it. I mean, if you want to live forever, you should at least have something to do, but it's kind of redundant if you're making it so you can't do anything ever again? I guess I just don't get the point of that. So, this is Azer, a recolor of Jin, one of the first bosses of the game. He knows the spell Flame, can attack twice per turn, and he is weak to Ice. Wow, I'm surprised. Water as well, since I think that actually counts as its own element, but he's weak to both. That is weird. I guess it's just because he's based on an earlier boss. Maybe this is like the game's equivalent of a boss rush. We're not actually fighting bosses, but a lot of the enemies are recolors of previous bosses, like Doga's clone and Gomery. What the hell kind of name is Gomery? I'm sorry, that is just a weird name. I would not expect a giant Medusa head to be named Gomery. But silly names aside, though, it kinda seems that way. At the very least, it's a very close kind of thing. It's certainly not a boss rush overall, because obviously you might never run into some of these enemies. Though then again, considering the dungeon, you're probably going to run into every enemy here. -3 that, truth be told, you don't want to run into anyway. This won't be one of the 3, they're on the last floor. In fact, I believe these guys should look familiar. I honestly forget when. These are Shinobi. I think these are the guys we fought for the Kiku Ichimonji. I'm not going to say that sword's name again. But yeah, I think the one in Eureka was just called Ninja, so these guys are easier than that one, which was kind of a mini-boss in that area. This guy, of course, since we fought him, I just wanted to show off the fact that they appear in groups now. And I mean, they're decently tough. I mean, by this point, even when we fought him, he wasn't the biggest challenge, so now that it's much later in the game, well, not much later, but many more levels, and a level 99 Sage, but yeah, now it's a cinch. We don't need to worry about that at all. But anyway, I was about to go on a tangent about the layout of the dungeon. And then I get interrupted again. Okay, to be fair, I don't mind too much with this guy. This is Platinal, a recolor of Goldor. So yeah, now we have this man with platinum armor who is totally ready to deck us in the face. He knows the spell Breaka, which does make him potentially dangerous, but of course if you have status protection by this point, which you probably should, there's quite a bit of it, like William's definitely got a ribbon. Truth be told, it really wouldn't suit the healer to not have a ribbon. You kinda want a ribbon on him at all times. It's really just good. I mean, if you can have status protection for your other characters, great, but healer comes first in that regard. At least that's what I always think. Anyway, yeah, that's Platinal. He's down. That poor combination of Platinum and Sentinel. Brought down by 4 children wielding very dangerous weapons. Ah well, we'll remember him later. Right, can I talk about the layout now? I keep getting interrupted in the past, but I seem to be fine for the time being, right? Okay, so, by the way, don't go to the left, that's a complete waste of time, and hey, that goes along with the whole layout thing. Also, secret passage, again. What I'm trying to get at is, I don't like the layout here. It's very confusing at times, which, truth be told, I kinda wish that gimmick had stayed with the Cave of Shadows. I mean, make an invisible wall for secret stuff, sure, that's fine, but to actually progress having secret walls in the way, I mean, at the very least, this one's obvious. Of course, then you have to wander through a maze of darkness, so that's less obvious. And now we're being attacked by Glaciolabulos. Almost said Labulos, that wouldn't have been right. So, this guy attacks twice, and his attacks can inflict confuse. This is my least favorite enemy in the dungeon, because I encountered him a lot, and every time he was a pain. Because first off, he causes pain. He's got quite a bit of attack as well. And of course, confuse is always a status you should be worried about, unless he immediately knocks it out of you. Very nice of him to do that, but nonetheless, I think that was just a warning shot. Just, hey, by the way, I can really screw your day up, pal. Either that, or he really had it out for Ayla. I mean, she was very nearly dead there, so it was a plan that almost worked. Alright, now continuing to feel my way through this area. Yeah, see why I don't like that? I don't like invisible mazes. They're not fun at all. It's just feeling your way through darkness. It kind of sucks a whole lot. But anyway, yeah. The layout, the dungeon itself is very long as is, but there's also a lot of treasure to get, and that really takes you out of your way, truth be told. So not only is this tower going to take you a while just because it is designed to be very big, but if you want everything inside of it, well, it's gonna take you quite a while. And as much as I like it visually, and as much as I love the music, I did have to go through this one multiple times, because I went up, and then I teleported out to heal, and then I came back. The second trip is definitely a shorter one, but still takes at least a little while. And of course, by this point it should go without saying, but the layout is different from the NES version, which is kind of simple, but at the same time it's a bit more complex. It's basically just a straight up maze with normal walls and stuff. There's some more trickery here, but other than that, it's a little more straightforward. Again, as long as you don't go for treasures. Actually, even then, there are some dead ends and the like. Actually, is this the final floor? No, it's not the final floor just yet. Because if it were the final floor, we could actually find 3 enemies, all dragons, 1 red, 1 green, 1 yellow, all very powerful, especially the red one. However, both in the original and this version of the game, they drop the onion equipment, which of course is only equipable by Onion Knights, and is the best armor in the game hands down. Also, these guys are Thor. I did not like that movie. They can cast lightning and their attacks might cause paralysis, but again, as long as you have status protection, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Of course, if you don't have status protection, well, they do get 2 attacks per turn in this case. Not they individually, but the fact that there are 2 of them, they'd get 2 attacks. And they are quite hardy as well. But anyway, the dragons, very rare encounters, and basically, if you fight them at this point in the game, you're probably going to die. Yellow Dragon knows Faraga, Blizzaga, Thundaga, can inflict silence, has 79,999 HP, and he drops the Onion Shield and the Onion Helm, and very rarely, the Onion Sword. The Onion Shield is a common drop between all of them. The Onion Sword is a very rare drop between all of them. Also, if they don't drop onion equipment, they'll drop elixirs, so if you can kill them, they're a very handy source for that, because quite frankly, you're probably not going to get the onion equipment anyway. But the green dragon has 89,999 HP, 129 attack, 45 defense. No magic, thankfully, but it can cause confusion, which is a pain. Oh yeah, and of course it can attack twice, as can all the other dragons, if I haven't mentioned that yet. And red dragon, 99,999 HP, 150 attack, 50 defense, and it can inflict poison with its attacks. It doesn't have any abilities, but it is very powerful. It also drops the onion armor, while the green dragon drops the onion gauntlets. I'm not going to be getting any of that other than the onion shields. But thankfully I didn't run into them here, and there might be an area where we can run into them in the DS version of the game, which will be good because it's already rare to find them, and since they have rare drops, you can see how that would be unpleasant to grind for. But with that treasure picked up, we are... Who is it? Okay, it's Dark Guardian. This guy, Dark General, not Dark Guardian. He's got absolutely no abilities, no double attack, no status effects, no weaknesses, 20,000 HP. Quite frankly, you're just being annoying, dude. Very, very annoying. And he can't even go down in 1 round. Well, I'm just gonna act like this guy isn't even here, because quite frankly, he might as well not be. Alright, are you done? Good. So we've collected the treasures of the Crystal Tower, and now we stand at the top floor. Next time on Final Fantasy III, we go face to face with Xande and defeat him before he can stop time.